Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a really interesting comparison in Canon's mirrorless world.
We are.
We're looking at the EOS R50 and the EOS R10. And if you're just getting started, trying to figure out where to put your money for a high-value camera, well, these two are probably front and center for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this whole segment is just incredibly competitive. And Canon's dropped two cameras here that are, on the surface, confusingly similar.
Right.
But our mission today is to really dig into the sources, pull apart the details, and figure out if that pretty big $300 price difference for the R10 is actually worth it.
We need to find the real value.
Exactly.
And the timing here makes this comparison so important, right? The R10 came out first, May 2022. Then just 9 months later, Feb 2023, boom, the R50 lands, and it's packing almost the same core tech.
It really makes it a true head-to-head. They're both modern cameras from the same family.
So Canon is clearly targeting two different kinds of photographers here.
Yeah, you can almost see the two profiles, the casual everyday shooter versus maybe the aspiring action photographer.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the biggest difference, the price tag.
Right, and it's a difference that really defines the entire discussion. The Canon R50, its suggested retail price is about $679 for the body.
Yep.
The R10, on the other hand, is almost $1,000. It's $979.
So that's $300.
It's a $300 difference, which is a 44% premium for the R10. And if you're on a budget, I mean, that $300 could be a whole new lens.
A really good lens, yeah. So the R50, just on paper, immediately looks like the better deal.
It does. It looks like the value proposition.
But, and this is maybe the most important point for this whole deep dive, the sources are crystal clear. That huge price gap gets you zero improvement in the actual image quality.
Zero. That's the thing. They both share what is, for all intents and purposes, the exact same 24-megapixel APS-C sensor.
So the heart of the camera is identical.
The heart is identical. The sensor, the processor. I mean, your photos, the dynamic range, the colors, how they perform in low light. It's all going to be virtually indistinguishable.
They even share the same ISO range.
Right.
100 all the way up to 32,000.
Identical.
So let's be super clear for you listening. Whether you spend the $679 or the $979, the pictures themselves will look the same.
And that's the key. You are not paying for a better photograph with the R10. You're paying for features, for speed, for ergonomics.
Okay, so if image quality is a wash, then the next big thing has to be how the camera actually feels to carry and use every day.
Right.
And on that front, the R50 seems to have a massive advantage for, say, a traveler or someone who just wants to have a camera with them.
It's all about portability. The weight difference is there. It's about 51 grams, which isn't huge. The R50 is lighter, but where you really feel it is in the dimensions. The R50 is narrower, it's a bit shorter, and crucially, it's 14 millimeters thinner.
14 millimeters. Why is that the key number?
Well, because that difference in thickness is often what decides if you need a proper bulky camera bag. Or if you can just slip it into your everyday backpack next to a laptop. It feels less like this big piece of gear and more like a travel companion.
So that's why the data shows it scoring just a tiny bit higher for daily photography. It's just easier to live with.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about the tech they share, because this is where entry level has gotten so good.
Oh, it's incredible. The autofocus in both of these is just stellar. I mean, they both have Canon's dual pixel AF2, which that used to be pro-level stuff.
Reserved for the flagship.
For sure. And now you get 651 focus points and all these advanced modes in a sub-$700 camera.
And by advanced modes, you're talking about things like face detection, eye tracking, this stuff that makes getting a sharp portrait almost foolproof.
It's a consequence of the tech. You don't have to think about it. The camera finds the eye and just nails the focus with incredible accuracy.
Which is why their portrait scores are identical, right? 54%.
The core engine is the same. It's top-notch for this price bracket.
And they both have that fully articulating screen, the one that flips all the way around.
A must-have for vloggers or anyone taking selfies or even just getting creative with high or low angles.
And for video shooters, no more 30-minute recording limit.
Huge. A huge quality of life improvement. Unlimited 4K recording is a big deal if you're shooting an event or a long interview.
Okay, so there's a lot of shared brilliance, but we have to talk about the two big limitations, the things that really hold both of these back from being, professional tools.
Right. And the first one is a big one. It's in-body image stabilization.
Or IBIS.
IBIS. Neither the R50 nor the R10 has it.
So let's break that down for someone new to this. What is IBIS and why is it a big deal that it's missing?
So IBIS is a little mechanical system inside the camera body. It physically moves the sensor around to counteract your handshake.
Okay.
If you don't have that, you are 100% reliant on stabilization that's built into the lens.
Which means not all lenses will be stabilized.
Exactly. You could buy a beautiful fast prime lens with no stabilization, and suddenly your handheld video is shaky and your low light photos are blurry. It limits your choices.
So you're either buying more expensive stabilized lenses or you're bringing a tripod.
Precisely. And the second major drawback they both share is the total lack of weather sealing.
Right. So don't take them out in the rain.
Or to a dusty field, or even a windy day at the beach. You just have to understand these are not built to withstand the elements. You have to protect them.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because now we have to answer that $300 question. What exactly does the R10 do that the R50 can't? And the answer seems to be speed and stamina.
That's it in a nutshell. The R10 is built for the action photographer. If you're shooting sports, wildlife, your kids running around the yard.
The R10 has a serious advantage.
A huge advantage. Let's just talk numbers. The R10 can shoot at a blistering 23 frames per second with its electronic shutter.
23. And the R50.
The R50 is still very fast, don't get me wrong. It does 15 frames per second. But that 8-frame difference? That's a 50% greater chance of capturing the perfect moment.
The peak action.
The peak action, the exact micro-expression. It's invaluable if you're serious about that kind of photography.
I have to ask, though, for the target user, the beginner, isn't 15 frames per second already more than enough? Is 23 just a marketing number?
That's a fair point. And for, 90% of people, 15 is plenty. But for that 10% who really want to specialize in action, the R10 offers something else that's even more important than just the raw speed.
And that's the pre-shooting buffer.
Yes. This is a crucial feature. It's a true differentiator.
Explain how that works, because it's kind of magical.
It is. So think about waiting for a bird to take flight. Your reaction time is always just a little bit too slow.
You always miss the first wing flap.
Always.
Yeah.
With the R10, you half press the shutter button before the action happens. The camera starts recording images to a temporary buffer.
So it's already shooting.
It's shooting the last half second of action. Then, when you fully press the shutter, it saves those buffered images plus the ones you're taking now. You capture the moment, even if your finger was late.
That is a game changer. And the R50 doesn't have that at all.
Not at all. It's an R10 exclusive in this comparison.
And the speed advantage extends to the shutter itself.
It does. The R10 has a much faster electronic shutter. We're talking 11/16,000th of a second. That's double the R50's max of 18 thousandths.
So for the listener, why would you ever need a shutter speed that fast?
It's a niche case, but it's important. It's for when you're shooting with a really fast lens, like an f1.2 in bright, direct sunlight.
Okay.
You want that wide open aperture for the blurry background, but at 18 thousandth, you might still blow out your highlights.
Totally.
The image is too bright. 116 thousandth lets you keep that aperture wide open without needing to screw on a special filter. It's a creative tool.
It's about convenience and creative flexibility.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, there's stamina. The R10 just lasts longer.
Right. The battery life.
The R10 is rated for 450 shots on a single charge. The R50 is rated for 370. That's an 80-shot difference.
Which is about a 22% improvement.
Yeah, and that's the difference between carrying one battery for a day trip or constantly worrying about whether you need to pack and charge a spare.
All right, so now let's flip this around. Let's talk about the R50's secret weapons. Because it's cheaper and newer, it actually had some features the R10 is missing.
It does, which is fascinating. Let's start with a simple hardware win. The R50's rear screen, the LCD, actually has a higher resolution.
So a cheaper camera has a better screen.
A crisper screen. It's 1.62 million dots versus the R10's 1.04 million. It's a nice little perk for checking your photos.
But the really big wins for the R50 are in the software, especially for video creators.
Huge wins. The first one is the product showcase mode.
This is a killer feature for a very specific person.
Oh, absolutely. If you're a small business owner, maybe an Etsy seller, or you review products on YouTube, this is designed for you.
So how does it work?
Normally, if you hold a product up to the camera, the autofocus will stay locked on your face. You have to manually force it. This mode automatically and instantly snaps focus from your face to the product in your hand.
And the R10 doesn't have that.
No, it's a massive time saver for that kind of content creator.
That is a direct value add. And there's another video feature, Lens breathing correction.
Yes, this is another benefit of being the newer camera.
Okay, give us the visual. What is lens breathing and why do I want to correct it?
So lens breathing is that subtle kind of amateurish looking effect where the frame seems to zoom in or out slightly as you change focus from something near to something far.
I know exactly what you mean. It kind of pulses.
It pulses, exactly. The R50 can electronically correct for that with certain lenses, making your focus pulls look perfectly smooth and professional. It's a quiet feature that makes a big difference to video quality.
A huge win. We should mention, though, that if slow motion is your thing, only the R10 does that super slow 120 frames per second video.
That's true. That's a trade-off. The R10 still holds the edge for ultra slow motion.
So before the final verdict, let's just touch on the ecosystem. No matter which one you buy, you're getting into the Canon RF mount.
And that's the real long-term benefit here. You're investing in a fantastic, growing system. Both cameras use the exact same mount. Any lens you buy for an R50 will work perfectly on an R10 and on up the chain.
So there's no dead end here. You're future-proofed either way.
Absolutely. The lens system is not a factor in the choice.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. We've got identical images. The R10 has a clear advantage in speed and battery. The R50 has better portability and some very clever modern features.
Right?
Which one is the better overall buy for that entry-level user?
Well, the consensus from the sources we looked at is that for the majority of people, the R50 comes out as the overall better choice.
Really?
Yeah, it gets a slightly higher overall score in the comparison data. It's seen as the ideal choice for anyone who's budget conscious, for travelers, for video creators, basically anyone prioritizing value in a compact size.
So the R10, with that $300 premium, is really for a niche user.
It really is. The R10 is the better camera, only if your absolute priority is that continuous shooting speed for action, the pre-shooting buffer, and that extra bit of battery life. It's for that very specific action-focused shooter. For everyone else, the R50 just offers a more complete, modern package for a lot less money.
So what does this all mean? It means you're basically choosing between essential capability at a fantastic price with the R50, or you're paying for specialized speed and stamina with the R10.
But you sacrifice nothing on the core image quality or the future of your lens collection.
And that brings us to our final provocative thought for you to chew on.
Right. Since we know the sensor is identical, and the cheaper R50 actually has some better software features like lens breathing correction, does the R10's extra speed truly justify that massive $300 savings? Or should a user who really needs high performance, maybe for paid action gigs or shooting in bad weather, should they just skip both of these and save up for a camera that has the features they both lack, like IBIS and weather sealing?
Is the R10 a big enough leap, or is it stuck in the middle?
Exactly. Is it fast enough to be a pro tool if it can't handle a little rain? That's the real calculation you have to make.
A great challenge for your budgeting process. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive.
We'll catch you next time.